Tell me about the raid.
What do you want to know?
I hear one of the raiders was taken captive. I'd like to question him.
Aye, old Melachar let him have it over the head with a flail, and now he's locked up in the barn. But be careful.
Why's that?
That fucker killed young Straw, and his old man's sharpening his sickle for him. Melachar still hasn't decided what to do with him.
I understand old Straw wants revenge, but first I have to question that bandit. What happens after is no skin off my nose.
Good luck, then.
Can you describe the raiders?
I don't know. They came at dusk, so you couldn't see their faces. About 20 of them. They weren't humans, though. They spoke Czech.
You talked to them?
No. They were shouting at us. They were very sure of themselves to begin with, but when we hit them in the woods, they didn't look so brave.
I know you've got courage enough for any man, but how did a bunch of untrained villagers manage to hold off armed bandits?
One of the village lads caught sight of them coming through the woods and told Melachar, who roused the whole village, and everyone grabbed what they could. Pitchforks, axes, flails, and we went out to face them.
What? You mounted an assault against them?
Aye, and that was the key. It was the last thing those whoresons expected. A few of them still managed to break through to the village, probably wanted to torch it. But even the women here were armed with what they could find, and they took the bastards by surprise.
I hear one of the raiders...
Aye, old...
Why's that?
That fucker...
I can tell you what he'll do with him. He'll hand him over...
I doubt Melachar will let him go willingly. The folk here...
About this sickness. When did this plague start?
The day after the raid. The horses were lying down in the stable, so we knew something was up. By afternoon, they were all dead. Then other animals started getting sick, one after the other, and then people.
What are the signs that someone's getting sick?
I don't leave the house much, but folk complain of fever and shakes. Some are throwing their guts up, and others are spewing from the other end.
Has anyone died from it?
Aye, old Vurba, although he was already on his last legs, so no one knows for sure if it was the plague that got him. Either way, the animals are dropping like flies, and people will end up the same for sure.
Who's ill now?
I don't know. What with my arm the way it is, I don't go outdoors much. But I know Melachar and Straw have sick ones at home.
Can I ask you a bit about Merhoyed?
I haven't been here long enough to learn much, but ask away.
Can you tell me something about Old Straw?
He's a woodcutter, tough as they come, and a hothead. He's been out of his mind since his boy died.
That's normal to grieve, though.
Depends how you look at it. Folk are afraid he'll snap or drink himself to death. What's worse, his wife caught the sickness, and he's not taking care of her.
Where can I find this Straw?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Straw lives in the right-hand one.
What's Melachar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melachar.
Thank God you had someone here who could take the reins.
Aye.
What's Melachar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melachar.
Thank God you... Where does Melachar live? What's Melachar? I know. Since when?
What?